as SEALSQ's stock price keeps drifting at the $3 boundary with relatively low volume. What could be next? In order to keep advancing away from the influence of the recently exited downtrend, one possible area catalysts could come from is outer space. Specifically, SEALSQ's new drive to become a key cybersecurity and semiconductor provider for future orbital data centers and AI infrastructure in space. It believes space-based computing will require quantum-resistant security, trusted hardware identity, encrypted communications, and autonomous cyber protection due to the harsh, inaccessible nature of orbital environments. SEALSQ's post-quantum semiconductors, cryptographic chips, and secure microcontrollers are designed to protect AI workloads, satellite communications, and distributed orbital systems. It also sees blockchain-based trust systems as important for secure machine-to-machine operations in space and believes its technologies align with growing demand for sovereign AI, cloud infrastructure, and secure space technologies. As for FuelCell, it's finally starting to rocket, fueled by AI data center demand, where it can offer standardized 12.5 megawatt fuel cell power blocks that provide reliable on-site electricity in grid-constrained markets. FuelCell explains that AI infrastructure increasingly needs fast, scalable, continuous power without waiting for utility interconnections. Its modular systems combine direct current power generation, integrated cooling, and low-emission operation, potentially improving efficiency for high-density computing facilities. More than 80% of its 1.5 gigawatt proposal pipeline is now tied to data centers, and it plans to expand manufacturing capacity in Connecticut from 100 to 350 megawatts annually. However, FCEL's outlook depends heavily on converting proposals into signed contracts. Backlog fell about 11% year over year to roughly $1.17 billion. Profitability remains negative, and low production volumes continue pressuring margins. It's also funding operations, partly through share sales, raising dilution concerns. And even though FCEL sees additional upside from carbon capture projects, like a Rotterdam demonstration tied to ExxonMobil, near-term success still hinges on scaling manufacturing, winning data center deals, and proving its technology can compete against alternatives such as natural gas systems and fuel cell rival Bloom Energy. On top of that, the recent surge made up of the most bullish and short-lived 3 marching soldiers and 3 methods rising candle pattern formations point to a potential pause to the stock's power-up, especially if green candles can't keep forming with volume over 16 million for a confident advance into the 20s. If bullish momentum does die down, look to see if it can recharge on the current moderate to steep uptrend line, which, if broken, can still see immense support against falling price given the large amount of buyers that have entered in the $10 to $18 range. On to Oklo's chart, the long and short-term bearish contexts are funneling most attention down to the 70 boundary, which, if not held over the next week, could be the impetus for a declined double top reversal that could be initiated with closes into the 60s, without exceedingly high daily volume, over 15 million because of the bearish advantage. The small modular reactor developers' meltdown has heated up lately because it reported a wider first-quarter loss of $33.1 million compared with $17.9 million a year earlier, as spending increased to support development of its Aurora reactor program and related infrastructure. Oklo posted a non-GAAP loss of 19 cents per share, matching expectations while remaining pre-revenue. Operating losses were driven by payroll, stock compensation, and project development costs, though interest and dividend income partially offset expenses. Despite the losses, Oklo emphasized progress across multiple projects, including construction and safety review work tied to its Aurora reactors in Idaho, Ohio, Tennessee, and Alaska. It also strengthened its balance sheet, ending the quarter with about $2.5 billion in cash and marketable securities after raising $1.2 billion through an equity offering. As the nuclear renaissance gets underway, Oklo is increasingly positioning itself around AI-driven nuclear infrastructure, highlighted by partnerships with NVIDIA, Los Alamos National Laboratory, and Battelle Energy Alliance to integrate artificial intelligence into reactor and fuel design. though actual deployment will only begin closer to next decade at the earliest, compared to power sources like FuelCell, which can come online now. But the wait is worth it, since nuclear energy can produce much more power. In the meantime, Oklo is building a customer pipeline across data centers, industrials, government, and energy markets. So while broad, long-term prospects generally remain positive on Oklo's potential, risks remain tied to regulatory approvals, fuel sourcing, commercialization timelines, and continued cash burn. In the battery business, QuantumScape supporters are bracing for a bullish energy drain nearing this year's main resistance range, meaning if price can stay on the general incline of the uptrend line into June, more time can be bought to hold out for a quantum-sized catalyst to close back into double-digit territory. In contrast, even if VELO can't continue the bullish bounce to reach for new 2026 highs, with daily bullish volume over 5 million, it benefits from extra strong short-term support in the $14 to $16 range to help it get back on track in the event of any bearish retracements that are to be expected after the near vertical climb over the past week. A move made possible by VELO, reporting strong first quarter 2026 growth, with revenue rising 48% year-over-year to $13.8 million, driven by demand from defense, aerospace, energy, and semiconductor customers. Gross margin improved significantly to 17.2% from 7.5% a year earlier, while operating expenses declined, helping reduce the company's net loss to $7 million from $25 million last year. It also improved adjusted EBITDA and reduced outstanding debt by about 70% to $9 million through debt conversions and repayments. VELO said its rapid production solution business, which provides parts production services, now represents about 25% of revenue and roughly half of its $30 million backlog. Management expects this segment to become a larger contributor over time as the company scales manufacturing capacity. It plans to expand its California production footprint from roughly 15 machines today to more than 40 by year-end, with longer-term plans for up to 100 machines. However, it's still important to point out cash fell to $16.6 million at quarter end before a later $50 million equity raise, as backlog declined slightly, while profitability has not yet been achieved. Yet, management reiterated guidance for $60 to $70 million in 2026 revenue and expects positive EBITDA in the second half of the year. While we wait to see if that prospect prints to fruition, Wolfspeed is soaring after research firm Citrini highlighted the company as a strong AI infrastructure opportunity following its bankruptcy restructuring. Wolfspeed reduced debt significantly and is now focusing on AI data centers, industrial energy systems, aerospace, and defense markets. The company's silicon carbide technology is gaining attention for AI power, cooling, and grid applications, while manufacturing has shifted to its advanced Mohawk Valley facility. Although Wolfspeed still faces losses and negative margins due to underutilized capacity, investors are betting AI-driven demand and improved financial flexibility could support a long-term turnaround, prompting positive potential for price to stay over 45 and fall onto a shallower incline, even if there isn't an immediate drive into the 70s. Now on to Nebius, going giga-green from first quarter revenue growth of 684% year-over-year to $399 million, driven by booming AI data center demand. AI cloud revenue accounted for nearly all sales, while adjusted EBITDA turned strongly positive. 2026 capital spending outlook was raised to as much as $25 billion as demand continues exceeding capacity. It has major partnerships with NVIDIA, Microsoft, and Meta platforms, and is rapidly expanding AI infrastructure across the United States. As a result, this grand entry into the 200s with volume over 30 million spurs further enthusiasm price can keep driving for new extension ranges and maintain the current steep uptrend line towards the second half of the year, whether the new gap up gets filled in or not. In another action-packed outlook from a bearish background, GoPro is paragliding onto watch lists since it hired Houlihan Lokey to evaluate strategic alternatives, including a possible sale, after receiving unsolicited interest from defense, consumer, and financial sectors. Management believes the company's technology, intellectual property, and brand are undervalued. The move comes as GoPro faces weak financial performance, with Q1 2026 revenue falling 26% to $99 million and net losses widening sharply due to margin pressure, inventory charges, and macroeconomic challenges. At the same time, GoPro is expanding into professional imaging, aerospace, and defense markets through its new Mission 1 camera series and partnerships with companies including ASUS. When viewed through a wide-angle lens perspective, its stock has been in a long-term downtrend. Shifting to a macro focus, the red aura is also apparent, with today's close under yesterday's red gap down candle. So even if volume stays under 10 million, the next scene could still see mounting pressure over the $1 barrier with decreasing chances of a rebound past 140.